I pressed the wrong button. Bear with me. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Hey. Right. Let's try again. The dopey. Right. Back in a
Last night, something paid a visit to the town of Snowfield, Colorado.
Hundreds of thousands missing. No bodies, no graves, no witnesses.
We've always worried that the terror would come from above. What if it came from below?
It's nothing. It's here! It's everywhere, all around us!
What are we dealing with here? Biological, chemical, or other?
I'm leaning toward other.
Oh, I'm having the right time at it, aren't I? Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek. Just might have caught the back end of my son going past. It's all going wrong. Anyway, so that was the trailer for tonight's episode of we even forgot what they call the show. Friday Night Appointment with Fear. Phantoms from 1998. Come on, somebody say it. Win Grace has got to say it is in the chat. You were the bombing Phantoms, yo. Yes, it's that one. Right. So with Ben Affleck and other people. Not Billy Zane. No, it's not that one. Not the Phantom. Dear. No, it's Phantoms from 1998, starring Ben Affleck and other people. I've forgotten. Rose McGowan, Liev Schreiber. I'm told it's pronounced Liev. All my life, not all my life, because I'm older than him, but for years and years, I've pronounced it Liev Schreiber. Then I was told it's pronounced Liev. But then, when all this Ukraine stuff started happening, now we've got to pronounce Kiev, Kiev. So, what do? I don't know. Anyway, so, and Liev Schreiber and Peter O'Toole, the late, great Peter O'Toole, and some other people. You know, but, right, so information about it. Right, directed by Joe Chappelle, who's does more TV than anything now. Leave Schreiber alone. I'm not leaving what? Oh, yeah, leave Schreiber. Yeah, Schreiber, not Schreiber. Joe Chappelle, who does more TV. He's done more television, like writing, directing, and producing. But he's done a couple of films. I think his most famous one is he did one of the Halloween sequels. I can't remember which one. I think was it The Curse or of Michael Myers. I can't remember. Does it say? I can't bloody see. Never mind. He did one of the Halloween sequels anyway. Confused with Maria. Is that the one that Arnold Schwarzenegger married? I can't remember. The Kennedy family. I don't know. Who were Democrats, but yet Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Republican, married into a Democrat family. I've never understood that. But anyway. Whatever. Anyway, that's not Arnold. Arnie's not in this film. Anyway, they probably improved it if he had been, because it's not the best film in the world. I do enjoy it. I suppose it could be classed as a bit of a guilty pleasure, maybe. It's got a lot of The Blob. Remember we did The Blob the other week? Hang on. I am supposed to say Maria in Arnold's accent. Am I all right? Maria. How do we solve a problem like Maria? Get to the chopper, Maria. I think she was called Maria, wasn't she? In oh no, she was Anna, wasn't she? In Predator. Right. Anyways, what was saying? I forgot what we're on about now. I've totally lost my train of thought. Joe Chappelle, yes, and like I say, he did a Halloween sequel. but he's done other things as well. And oh yeah, yes, guilty pleasures we're talking about. A bit of a guilty pleasure because it's not the best film in the world, but it's fun. And as I said, it's kind of got like Blob. It's reminiscent to me anyway of the Blob remake that we watched a couple of weeks ago. It's also got like echoes of The Thing and Silent Hill, even though I think it came out before Silent Hill. What else? Like Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil came out a year or two before. But stuff like that. That sort of thing. It's got all the tropes in it. It's got all the tropes. It's based on the book by Dean R Koontz called Phantoms. I've only read one Dean R Koontz book in my life, but it was really good. And I can't remember what it was called. It was that good. It might have been The Watchers, but I'm not sure. It was about a genetically engineered person thing that were kind of the goodie. I thought it was a monster. It turned out to be the goodie. And I was reading it, and then it just suddenly ended. Sort of like three quarters of the way through the book. I thought, oh, I've got a while to go here. And then just suddenly it ended, and then there were like another 100 pages of like another book. I thought, what's going on here? But never mind. Yes, the Resident Evil game. Yes, it had echoes of that, particularly in the scene that we'll get to with men in gas masks. It kind of reminded me of Resident Evil 2. But anyway, right. So, what did it do at the box office? I don't know what the budget was. It doesn't say, but it only did $5 million at the box office. I can't imagine the budget was massive. I bet most of the budget went on the actors like Rose McGowan, who she was a rising star at the time, as was Ben Affleck. This was the year, what the year before, a year after Armageddon? I can't remember. Anyway, he were on the rise, wasn't he? And Liev Schreiber, who possibly plays the most annoying character ever put on film. Can't stand him in this film. But he's got a critical role in it. Anyway. Right, so let's get on with it. Let's get the film up. Let's get rid of that trailer. By the way, I pressed the wrong button earlier on when I started. Instead of pressing play, for some reason, I pressed next. And had a video for Battlestar Galactica started playing for some weird, because I'm an idiot. Right, so the film. Right, off we go. Just full screen this bugger. As usual, will not be just watching the film, because that would be wrong and I'd get in trouble. Save that for the Patreon, which I won't be doing anyway on Patreon, but I do watch full films on Patreon, old 50s B movies, links in the description. While we're at it, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're live on YouTube. Let's just double check. We're live on YouTube. Yes, we are. We're live on Rumble. So let me refresh that and make sure we're going on Rumble. Yep, we are. Got 3 watching. Ooh. And we're live on Twitch. So there we go. While we're at it, I'll just share that Twitch one. There we go. Share. I think I'd already shared the Rumble one earlier on. I think on Twitter. Sorry, X. Nobody's ever going to call it X, are they? But we'll share that. Not that it'll draw any more people. Archmage Phrase commenting on Twitch. That mysterious man who was never in the same room as Win Grace. He says the Phantom knows. I've never seen it, the Phantom, with Billy Zane. Never seen it. Stupid Archmage Phrase making shadow quotes with the Phantom. Yes, he's evil. Speaking of Phantoms, there's the DVD cover. I haven't got it on Blu-ray. I don't know if it is available on Blu-ray, but I've got it on Amazon. Got it on Amazon Prime. Bought it on Amazon Prime HD. No subtitles with it. Unbelievable. But the subtitles on the Blu-ray. Where were we? I was doing things, wasn't I? Oh, yes. Later on, I'll be uploading it onto Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Hello, Anna Yaldis. Hey, I follow you on Twitter. Hope you follow back. Oh, right. Is that a Twitch one as well? Oh yeah. Yes, that's a first time chat on Twitch. I follow you on Twitter. Hope you. Well, at least I'll have a look. I will have a look later on. Get rid of that. So, welcome to the show, Anna Yaldis. Right, where were we? I forgot what I was saying now. I'm losing all my train of thought. Oh, I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are in the description, as has links to my 2 books. Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs. Not this UFO, not Jerry Anderson's UFO, about, proper UFOs. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village. Right, is that it? Can we go now? Can we start? We start the film. I've also got a Patreon, as I said earlier. Links down there. Links there. It's also in the description. And while we're at it, we'll have to get his banner going, won't we? And give a shout out to the legendary Archmage Frey, that mysterious man who is my sole patron on Patreon. He'll probably cancel it soon because he's like that. He's Archmage Frey. Just stays on Twitter and Patreon. Not Twitter, Twitch and Patreon. Doesn't go on YouTube very often. But anyway. Right. So let's get on with this film. I make myself titchy tiny. And we will begin. Are we ready? Have I got everything ready now? Because something's going to go wrong. By the way, I'm still on my old computer. My new computer's arrived. I've got some memory for it as well. I've upgraded the memory. So I'll plug that in today. And I'm gonna do it tomorrow. We're going to get it all up and running tomorrow, my new computer. But Wingres says he hasn't used Twitter since 2016. Not that I would know. I presume you're on about Archmage Frey. Yes. Yes, not that you would know, Wingres, not being Archmage Frey, with a different hat on, probably. Anyway, right. Off we go. Oh, what happened then? Why did Liev Schreiber pop up then for some bizarre reason? We're starting. Right, we're off. We're off and running. Now then, I don't know what the skip's going to be on this. Right, we'll do that. Dimension Films, Neo Motion Productions. It's set, by the way, in the town of Snowfield, somewhere. I don't know if it actually says. I presume it's somewhere like Oregon or Washington or somewhere like that. So it's set in that town. Similarly to The Blob, which was also set in a ski resort town, but we didn't see any snow, I don't think. We don't see a lot of snow in this until the end. Anyway, there we go. Oh, we do see some snow here. All right. But the news for a skiing resort, I presume it's a skiing resort. Is it Colorado? Oh, right. Sorry. I wasn't paying any attention to the trail. Is it Colorado? It might not be a skiing resort. I don't know. But there's all them mountains, so you'd think so. But she says in the film that the tourists come in the summer, not the winter. So it mustn't be a skiing thing. Anyway, right. So we're off with the 2 sisters whose names evade me. We've got Rose McGowan as Lisa Paley and Joanna Going, who's one of the main stars of the. Well, along with Ben Affleck and Peter O'Toole, she's the star of this film. Even I think she's even she's above Rose McGowan. But she's one of these like working actresses. I don't know her from much else, but she's done a lot of TV and the occasional film. Anyway. Oh, for God's sake, I'm having a bloody day of it today, aren't I? It's all going wrong. Anyway, they're in the car and she's basically, I forgot her bloody name already. Jenny. Jenny is a doctor. This is Lisa Paley, Rose McGowan. Jenny's a doctor in Snowfield. And she's done like a bit of an intervention. She's taken her sister away from LA, because she lives in LA, Los Angeles, and taking her to Snowfield for a month or so. I think she's fallen in with some bad people. Is this going to do it? Right, so they're on the way there. Then she's on the phone to some bloke in Los Angeles. It was obviously a bad influence. There we go. She's been abducted, she says. Anyway. And she speeds up. There's Jenny. To get into a tunnel, so they lose the signal, the phone signal. Wingate says, I know her mostly from Grindhouse. Oh, right, was she in that? The film. Well, it were 2 films, weren't there? There were are you on about that one? Death. I forgot what they called it now. I can't remember the first one now. The Planet Terror, which had Rose McGowan in, and yeah, that was Rose McGowan, wasn't it? With the gun leg. I thought about Joanna Going then, and what was the other one in Grindhouse? It was with Kurt Russell, wasn't it? Death something. I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, that one. It was fine. She was in Scream, of course, Rose McGowan, wasn't she? She got killed. Spoilers for Scream. She got killed in the garage door, didn't she? There we go. Right. So anyway, they're on the way to Snowfield. Here we go, going through a tunnel. I think Snowfield's one of these towns where there's like one road in and one road out, sort of thing. That sort of affair. It's pretty remote. There's a sign that's obviously been shot at a few times. America. Death proof, that's it. Yes, thanks, Wingrace. Wingrace knows all. Heck, that's an unfortunate card there, isn't it, Harvey Weinstein? But, what can we do? We know he's a bad man. Right, they're arriving, and it's all quiet. It's all quiet in the town. There's nobody about. The streets are empty. She says, it always is quiet. And Jenny says, no, it's not. It's most peculiar. They see a car with its engine running, with exhaust fumes coming out the back, but nobody in it. What's going on in this little town in Colorado? But it actually filmed. Hang on, I can tell you. Probably why I'm thinking of this. It was actually filmed in. I can tell you. Oh no, it was filmed in Colorado. It was filmed in Georgetown, Colorado, and there was one building where they use for 2 buildings. They use it as a bakery and a hotel. It was actually a hotel. I'll tell you when we get to that bit. There's the car with the engine running. But anyway, so they go to the good doctor's house. So in they go. Lisa's looking around suspiciously. Nobody about. There's no animals either. No birds singing. There's no dogs or cats walking about, and there's no birds flying about. That I noticed. I've just thought about it now, and I never even paid attention to if any birds were flying about. Maybe there are. There we go. Residence and office of Dr. Jennifer Paley, MD. What? She only works bloody 5 days a week, 10 till 5, part-timer. I know the rest of the time she's probably doing house calls. I don't know. But and Joshua's here. Here I be. Here I be. Like the god he is. You haven't missed anything. We've just started. Right. So Jenny says she's got a housekeeper called Hilda. She says this is the housekeeper of the gods. And she says she's good. She promised some apple pie. So I presume they can smell something because there's food cooking in the kitchen. There you go. Apples appling in the pan. And there's a pie there already made, but that's not apples, is it? That looks like red. Could be cherries, I suppose. I don't know. But there we go. But we find that Hilda's dead on the floor, looking a bit worse for wear, with kind of you can't see for me. Her hand's kind of funky. And the rest of it is as well. She got white eyes. Look, she's not looking well. Looking a bit like Lulu, a popular British singer from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm kidding if you're a Lulu fan. Anyway, so being a doctor, she's got to examine her, and says there's no signs of a struggle. Lisa says she looks like she's had the shit kicked out of her, and Jenny says, well, no, that's obviously not what's happened. There's no signs of a struggle. They don't know what's going on. And then they hear a noise from upstairs. There you go, there's no blood. I think rigor's set in. Then I think they hear noises. And the phone's out of order, as it says there. So they decide to go to the police station, I think. I think that's what they do. I think they hear a noise from upstairs. We hear a lot of noises in this film. To Sir with Love. Well, Lulu in that. I don't know. I've not seen it. I know the film. What you mean though. Anyway, so they got back out to a car, but it won't start for some reason. Don't know why. A lot of weird stuff happens in this film. It's kind of like supernatural, shenanigans going on. Maybe slightly Lovecraftian in a pinch, but not quite. The stuff that you can't explain. Stuff that you can't explain happens. Oh, they make the walk to the police station. There they are walking. And suddenly it gets all dark there, doesn't it? Or is it just a fade out? Oh, it's crikey. They get to the police station. They find the local copper quite dead, similar to Hilda. Obviously, Lisa's freaking out. I think, what can they do now? It must have been the only policeman in the town, by the way, because there's no others about. So she's handing out tissues for them to check things, and she gives a tissue to Lisa. And she tries the phone, and I don't know if she's using the tissue so they don't get infected with whatever's killed Hilda and the policeman. But she's just like holding the phone to her ear, that whatever. I don't know. But she uses the tissues to have a look at the policeman. But there's nobody on that phone's dead as well. We see it being firing off shots. Apparently, that's a goof. They're supposedly blanks. I don't know. I wouldn't know a bullet if it hit me. But on IMDb, the goofs, it says that they're blanks. I don't know. Joshua and Winggrace probably know. Being Americans, they've probably, they have bullets for breakfast, don't they, in America? But anyway, he's been shooting at something, and there's no blood, and that's where she's saying he's a pro. If he shoots at something, he's going to hit it, and there's no blood, so they don't know what he was shooting at. What does this say? It's a little note. Shift change. Call Shanning, day shift. Deputy Waggle, night shift. These are the police that they're coming on there. These are the new shift. That's a meeting with Bryce, Friday 10 a.m. Something police station Snowfield. I think Bryce is the Ben Affleck character. Just let me double check. Yes, he is. Yes, but that's his first name, Bryce Hammond. Shanning, Liev Schreiber is Waggle, and Shanning is another fellow that we see who doesn't last long. Right. Sorry, I was just shooting things. What did you say? He told you. Americans. As he says in The Mummy. Americans. Anyway. Right. So she's getting the shotgun out, but she doesn't know what to do with it. But Lisa shows her how to load the shotgun. I wouldn't know how to put the bullets. I'd be sticking them down the front, me. Down the sharp end. Right, so they're going to go now to the bakery for some reason. She says, "Let's check the bakery. So and so is always there." But there's this town. By the way, it looks quite. It's not as it's a small town. She says the population's 400. But it looks bigger than a 400-person town. It says in summer it's 4,000, but. Anyway, whatever. So they're going to the bakery. There we go. We're still seeing the town deserted, nobody about. They're looking at this is the car that had its engine running. She goes to check it. She thinks maybe they can get out of town, but it's stopped now. So and she can't get it going again. So maybe it's run out of fuel. I don't know. She doesn't say. She just says it's not working now. And that's it. Lisa says, "But it was running before." Maybe it ran out of fuel. I don't bloody know. Right, so they go to the bakery. There's nobody about there. So they go round the back. There we go. They're getting through the back. Maybe the back's unlocked. I don't know. Oh, they see somebody moving about. We see a shadow move above them. Keep going. Right, so they go in, and obviously they find something gruesome. There we go. Hang on, we're going to see it. There we go. Some nice not decapitated. Some severed hands. We have decapitations soon. It mid roll with the rolling pin. Maybe Croatoan siphoned all the fuel. That was from Supernatural, wasn't it? But I can't really remember what happened. I remember it popping up in I think it was Supernatural, wasn't it? Was it? Or was it Fringe? I can't remember now. I remember the word. It was connected with Roanoke, wasn't it? I'm sure it was connected with Roanoke. I'm sure it was Supernatural. Anyway, whatever. Right. So obviously, whoever were doing this this married person were rolling some bread, I presume, or something. I don't know. And got their hands chopped off. And she said the looks cauterized because there's no blood. There's a little bit of blood, but obviously, if somebody had their hands chopped off mid-roll, there'd be blood spraying all over, but there isn't. God, should we stop doing that? Stupid thing. Showing everybody my icons. Supernatural, right? Yeah, Supernatural did a Croatoan episode. Yeah. Thought I remembered it. That's early on, wasn't it, in Supernatural's run? Right, off we go. Then they hear a ping. There we go, from the oven, and they spend a really long time. Because Croatoan, so I've just remembered, at Roanoke, Croatoan were carved into a tree or something, wasn't it? Or something like that, or written on a wall, or something like that. The word Croatoan was there, wasn't it? After everybody disappeared. But oddly enough, Roanoke is mentioned in this film. Peter O'Toole mentions it later. Right, so anyway, this oven pings, and they spend an age sort of like staring at it with dramatic music before they go and open the oven door. And she says it's just cakes. And they open it, and it's pies. Hang on, it's just pies. But it's showing us. Come on, show us the pies. There we go. It's just pies, and then we see blood dripping onto them, and then the heads fall down. And oh, for God's sake, show us the heads. We'll play it a bit. Hopefully, we won't get into trouble. If I pause it, we all want to see the heads, don't we? Of the two bakers, the baker and his wife, or the baker and her husband. There we go. There we go. There's the heads dropping down. For some reason, they didn't look very cooked, did they, for being in an oven? But anyway, so that's obviously surprised them, to say the least. So they're running out screaming, and then the phone rings. So they answer the phone, and all they hear is a weird noise, giving it all that. Very Silent Hillish. Joshua says the implication is that this is what happened at Roanoke. Reading the book again this week. I've not read the book. As I said earlier, I think before you got here, I've only read one Dean R Koontz book, but I did enjoy it, and I think it was The Watchers, but I'm not entirely sure. Can't really remember. It was a long time ago. About a genetically engineered monster person that turned out to be a goodie, I think. I can't actually remember much about it. I remember enjoying it and thinking it was pretty good. Right. So there's nobody there, obviously, just weird noises. And here we go. Right. This is the arrival of Ben Affleck. I think. Here we are. And Liev Schreiber, who plays the most annoying person in the universe. So here we go. So he's looking at this is where we realise there's something wrong with this character. Waggle or Woggle. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'd say Waggle. And he's like staring at these heads. He's got this fascination with morbid stuff, and he like giggles and stuff like that. And it's quite annoying. He gets on Ben Affleck's nerves a lot as well. But he's asking him if he's okay, and says, "Yep." So they've got to explain themselves to the police. This is obviously the next shift. Actually, to be honest, I've seen this a few times, this film, but I actually thought they were from a nearby town. I didn't know they were the next shift of the police force, so to speak. I thought they'd come from a town over to see what were going on. But anyway, yes. The doctor Jenny says there could be like a biological or chemical or viral implications going on here, and then Waggle says those people were decapitated. So obviously, a viral infection doesn't decapitate you or chop off your hands. This was the movie that made me love Liev Schreiber. Or is it Liev? Don't know. Liev Schreiber from Kiev, or was he from Kiev? Don't know. Yeah, I like Liev. I like him. I think he's good, but he's just annoying in this film. But he's supposed to be. That's the point of his character in it. Right, so some things are amiss. They don't know what's going on. They don't know where the townspeople are. Most of them seem to be at home, it seems. Because later on, other people arrive and do searches, and we find that other people they're in their homes. But, anyway, there's Ben asserting himself because he's the bomb in Phantoms, yo. That's I forgot his bloody name now. That's the other fella, Deputy Shanning. That's him, and he seems like a good cop. Obviously, Waggle seems like a bad cop. He's not a nice person, and this fella seems like a decent chap, which obviously means he's going to die. So they've got to figure out what to do. Oh, off they go. I think they're going back to the police station. I think probably. I can't remember. We'll find out in a minute. Or do they go to the hotel? Can't remember. But and then they hear like an alarm going off, like a siren, like Silent Hill, going on. Although something's up. There's this little power. Earlier on it was also mentioned. Could it be radiation? And because she asked if there's I forgot her name. Lisa asks, is there a nuclear power station nearby? Is it radiation? Jenny said, well, no, there'd have been lesions if it was radiation poisoning. And obviously that doesn't kill you instantly. Here they are listening to the weird noises from the town, like the siren, as though something's going on. All right, so where they're going, I think this is the hotel, I think, which was also the bakery. Joshua says, I do enjoy some Silent Hill. Yes, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the games. I liked the first one, but on the PS1, the original. But I didn't really get into them after that. My son likes them. But I did like that first film. By Christoph Gans directed with Sean Bean. I did quite enjoy that. You know what? I didn't mind the sequel either. A lot of people didn't like it, but I didn't mind that. A loose sequel. Anyway, so they're going to the hotel. In a minute. I think that's where they're going. Oh, they might go to the police station first. I don't know. I can't remember. I think they go to the police station first. Keep showing all this over and over again. The noises from the town. There you go. If anybody was alive, wouldn't that have brought them out with this siren going off? And there we go. There's lights. The candle glowing. So I presume they're going to go check that out. Oh, they went to the police station. Maybe they'll go later. There he's keeps asking if Waggle's okay. And he says, yeah, I'm okay. Because obviously he's acting peculiar. And I was thinking, is he connected with this from the beginning, or is he just, just a weird person? I don't know. But I had my suspicions that maybe he was infected with, the monster pretty early on. But I could be wrong. Actually, I am wrong because something else happens. Right, so here we are, the hotel. There's several guests. I think they said there's 7 guests in the hotel, and so they go and check the rooms. He's giggling at something, don't know what. And so they go searching. Speed up and search for clues. Scooby-Doo style. So off they go. Of course, Waggle finds the body. I don't know what Ben's finding there. Oh, wife opens the closet and he has like a vision of a young boy in the closet because he was an ex-FBI agent who shot a kid in a closet with a toy gun, much like that copper in Die Hard, Reginald Vell Johnson, much like that. So he left the FBI or was drummed out of the FBI. I don't know, but so he's suffering, the memory of that. But Joshua says, I think it's just weird and a bit morbid, so he kind of gets the wavelengths of the thing, perhaps. Yeah, probably, because it does. Spoilers for later. It does seem to like him, doesn't it? It keeps bringing him back in particular, doesn't it? But we'll see. We'll see that soon, right? So, yeah, he sees, has a vision of this this kid in the closet. Then Waggle finds his body, or not his body, finds a body in this room. There we go. A lady in bed. He's all having. He seems to be having carnal thoughts about this and giggling, but then Ben Affleck interrupts him. Oh, here we see the. I forgot what they call it now. Is it Wide World News? That's it. This is the. It's supposed to be like the National Enquirer or that other one. What are they called now? Something like World News Weekly, something like that. I can't remember what they called it. It might be Worldwide News. I don't know, but a similar, publication that publishes weird things. Bigfoot and UFOs, and an alien came down and is the father of my love child and stuff like that. Well, as you can see there, I dated Bigfoot. He was extremely shy. See page 7. Prehistoric alligator found in big city sewers. Billionaire pays, what's that say, something 100 million ransom for his kidnapped cat. His cat there with sunglasses on. Demons escape from internet. Earth will evaporate December 31st, 1999. So it's all good stuff. World News Weekly with Batboy. What is that? Is that what I'm thinking of? Anyway, so it's along those lines, isn't it? Right. And he finds something in here. He goes and goes to find Waggle. He interrupts as Waggle's about to touch up this dead body for some weird reason. He just catches him. What you doing? Oh, nothing. So he says, watch the hallway, and then he goes to check this other room. And says, you want to see this? And he goes into a bathroom. Says the bathroom door was locked from the inside. Inside on the bathroom mirror, that written Timothy Flight, the ancient enemy. Timothy Flight is the Peter O'Toole character. And but that was written in lipstick on the bathroom mirror in the bathroom with the locked door that you had to kick in. And so where was the nobody inside? Nobody there. As I said, weird things happen in this this film. Although there's a suggestion that maybe people evaporate and go down the plug holes into the sewers. I don't know, because they keep showing us plug holes and noises coming from them, and sometimes monsters. Anyway, he comes out, there's Waggle, and says to Lisa, "Do you want to see something?" And she goes, "No." Because that's his catchphrase in this. Do you want to see something? Anyway, so asking who Timothy Flight is. There we go. Woman locks herself in here to get away from him. Timothy Flight, they're thinking, and writes his name on the mirror and then disappears. She wrote it in lipstick. And then we find that, of course, they found this, by the way. Cleaner end than the lady in the lavatory from Deep Rising. Well, yeah, she went. She had a nasty end, didn't she? And the fella in the blob the other week, he went down the plug hole as well, didn't he? The waste disposal. Anyway, Waggles found I don't know if this is the same room that the woman were on the bed. I don't know, or it might be a different room. I don't know. But of the 7 guests, they've only found 1 body. But they find all this. There we go. All this metal stuff and presumably bits of plastic as well and glass on this bed. They don't know where it's come from. We presume it's from the rest of the guests, but there's one thing in particular in there that Jenny finds, and she holds it up. Somebody mentions concentration camps. So I think the gold tooth in there somewhere, I think. Could be wrong. No, actually, no, I'm getting mixed up. I'm thinking about something else. But anyway, Jenny finds, there we go, she finds a pacemaker. She holds that up. She says, that's a pacemaker. So it turns out it's leftovers, undigested material, we learn later on. All right. Well, that's, there we go. He's joking. This guy's got an edge. Obviously, they think there's some serial killer at large. And then she says, look, there's no guest called Timothy Flight, 7 people in those 4 rooms, 1 body. So he gets on the phone. But first, Waggle starts giggling. So what you laughing at? And then we see, they're going to show us, probably not. There we go. A severed hand with lipstick. So we presume this is the woman that wrote on the bathroom mirror. But that was not there before. Things are appearing and disappearing randomly, and they don't understand why. So that gives them a fright. And they hear another noise. I can't actually remember what this noise is now, what they're hearing. It could be a buzzing noise, because there's some insects and stuff in the bit. It could be that. I can't remember. That were it. No, I remember now. They hear a woman screaming. That were it. Somebody's screaming, help me, and that. And Deputy Shannon goes running out to assist her. And I think we've missed it. Is it? No, it's going out to assist her. Not her sister, assist her. Going, is this him going? Oh, no, so I've gone too far already. Look, right, we'll play it. He goes running out. There we go. Bryce, cover me. So he goes running out. Says, no, wait, Steve, cool name. There we go. He goes running out, and then we hear something gets him there. A shadow falls across him, and then he's gone. We just see his. There we go. His boot and his gun. That's gone. So that's the end of Deputy Steve Shanning. He's gone. A bit like The Mist. I forgot to mention that as well. A bit like The Mist in this, but obviously this came before that. Oh, right. So he's on the phone now, or on the radio, whatever, to whoever. I don't know who's on the phone. His headquarters. I think he's from another town. I'm sure he's from another town. Maybe Waggle and Shanning are from this town, but I think Bryce, is from the neighbouring town. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, so he's on the radio. So he's trying to, get help here. Yes, bye, Steve, says Joshua. He were a good cop and all. So always happens to the good uns, doesn't it? There you go. He's explaining it. That's Flight, Flyte, but it's like a bad connection, and they can't really hear him properly. So he says, call the government. We need a containment team in and all that, etc. There you go. Federal assistance, blah, blah, blah. But they can't really hear him, but they must hear him enough, because help is on the way. Help. There you go. He wants the whole strike force. And I was telling them, lots of people that appear to be dead, but they lose contact, interference and all that. Obviously, he seems happy. It's crazy. That's Bryce saying this has to be a managed response, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Is that an FBI term?" So when we learn that he used to be in the FBI. But anyway, it's your problem. You seem to be saying that a lot. Right, so they're zipping people up in body bags now, and they put them in storage room that's got a sink in it. But this is says inappropriate things as well, does Waggle. So he says, you and the doc seem to have chemistry, and then he talks about Rose McGowan, as you would, I suppose. But he has a confrontation because he never knows when to keep his gob shut. He ends up getting Ben Affleck's hands round his throat. But anyway, obviously they don't get on. Says, was that a managed response? Then the phone rings, and for some reason, I don't know, do phones do this in America? I've never seen one here do it, but it answers itself on the speakerphone. Maybe American phones can do that, but I don't think they can here because we're not as technologically advanced as you. But anyway, and it's just the weird noises coming through the phone. It says, that's what we heard earlier. And then it's sort of like it builds to a crescendo, so it's some weird like a demonic. I suppose you could call it a demonic screech. Anyway, that's that. So they know something's going wrong in this town, and then because the lights go out, you hit the light. They cut the power. They're animals, man. Anyway, the lights go out, and then they hear buzzing noises, and then there we go. A creature, a big moth. I think it could be CG as well. I don't know, but it's like a big moth. She says that a bird, and then it becomes predator then, because I think it breaks the glass in the window. It doesn't shatter it; it like breaks. You hear it break, and then they just open fire with everything. This is the predator scene. And, here they go. Because Americans. So he's saying, "Did we get it?" And looks out. There's Waggle. Yeah, it's probably dead because we shot it 30 times, and then he gets got by it, as we'll see. Rushing in, grabs him on his face. There we go. And basically eats his face off. Did you know that Deputy Shannon played Donovan's son in the VTV series? No, I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Sean, his name, wasn't it? Sean. In the original V, is that what you're on about? Yeah, well, the ex-Donovan were in that. He wasn't in the remake, were he? Mark Singer as Donovan, but yes, his son was called Sean, wasn't it? And he got brainwashed by the visitors, didn't he? I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Connections. Anyway, here he is getting got by the Mothra creature. There it is, look, getting his face ripped off. And then I don't know if he shoots it or if it just goes away. I can't actually remember. Let's have a look. I think Ben Affleck might shoot it. Or does she shoot it? Don't know. Maybe it just goes. I can't remember. It might just fly out the window. I can't remember. So they barricade the window up. They find some nails from somewhere and barricade the window up. And then we have a passage of time looking at the mountains. Don't know how much time's passed. But she's doing an autopsy on poor Deputy Waggle. As you can see, she says his face has been eaten off, and his eyeballs and his entire brain has gone as well. And Rose is just sitting there. She doesn't seem that bothered. She seems a bit, a bit scared and stuff. But she sees something later on that's got nothing on that, and she's like going, "Oh!" And I was like, "You watched your sister do a bloody autopsy not 20 minutes earlier." Anyway, so there you go. No, that's what she's saying. The brain's missing. The brain alone weighs 6 or 7 pounds. Probably not in my case. So that's a mystery. It almost got Lisa, did it? I don't know. She's the suggestion from her that something evil is happening. Talking about hell. Right, then we cut to San Francisco. It is San Francisco, isn't it? That building's in San Francisco, isn't it? Don't ask me what it's called. I will hand it over to you in the chat, Joshua and Wingrace. So this is where we're going to meet Peter O'Toole. There we go. Wide World News. Must be doing well, that particular publication. I don't know if Peter O'Toole runs it or owns it, or if he just writes for it. I'm not entirely sure. But obviously, he must be doing okay from it. But the feds have arrived, the FBI, and they've come. They want to talk to. There he is, Peter O'Toole. Here to ask you a few questions. One of these FBI men is Robert Nepper, who's been in lots of stuff. Usually plays a baddie, but he looks very young in this. Not him, the other one. So they want to know about these articles he's written about the ancient enemy, and he says, "Oh, something I wrote while at Oxford," and it got him booted out of the academic because he's a doctor flight. Something he wrote while at Oxford, and he got him booted out of the academic circles. There it is. That's Robert Nepper, looking very young, and not as he aged, didn't he? Must have aged suddenly because he's really wrinkly now, isn't he? But anyway, there we go. They're based on a treatise I published while at Oxford University. Peter O'Toole, who I want to hear Peter O'Toole say Will Wheaton because he does that. You know, he pronounces his "was" with WH as a. I'll be gone a while. That's how we talk. Anyway, so there we go. Got booted out of academia, so he set up or started working for this newspaper. They're interested in it. There we go. Obviously, that's the same. They must have just made one. They just made one issue. Didn't make any more. Didn't have the budget for two. There we go, Dr. Timothy Flight. So they're basically going to take him away, and because you know he's connected with what's going on in Snowfield. And there we go, talking about the extinction of the human species, underlined, just to bring our attention to it. There we go. He needed the money, that's why he worked there. Anyway, right, back in Snowfield. Obviously, nerves are afraid. They're the two bodies in that like a storeroom. Talking about Lisa. They're having a little moment now. It's talking about. I think they're talking about the mother. She's talking about the mother here. She's taken Lisa away from their mother because her mother drinks, and obviously must be bad influence. But I think this is where we learn why he's not in the FBI anymore. Is it going to show us? There we go. He's not in the FBI anymore because he carries around this really thick, this newspaper clipping that's like printed on card or something. It looks really thick, or like waxed paper or something. I don't know, but he holds it up. That's the kid that he shot. And so he became a regular policeman in some, little town somewhere. So that's why. Keeps that to remind him. She says, I need an escort because she wants to go for the lavatory. And you'd think they'd all go, wouldn't you, if they were being sensible? But he takes her by himself and then leaves her by herself. And they already know that people can vanish from locked rooms. Weird stuff's happening, but they're thick. They must be thick. So anyway, he takes intakes. He checks out the stalls and says, "Nothing here." That don't mean anything, does it? Anyway, before we proceed, speaking of V, says Wingrace, on the recent Shuttlepod show, Terry Matalas said that's high on his list of things to remake if he's given the chance. Well, they've already redone it, haven't they, with that series, which wasn't too bad actually, in my opinion. With I forgot her name now. Me and names. That really attractive woman from Firefly and other things. And Stargate. What's her name now? Anyway. But yeah, they should do it again and make it better. Yeah, there we go. Right, so Marina Baccarin, that's it, Marina Baccarin. How could I not remember that? Marina Baccarin. That's how I pronounce it. You've spelled it how I'd pronounce it, wouldn't you? Marina Baccarin and Coke. No D. That's not what I've heard. Hey, and she's married in real life to an actor whose name I've forgotten. He was in Gotham, the fellow that starred in Gotham that played Jim Gordon. She's married to him in real life. Anyway, right, so he's checked the bathroom, toilet, whatever you want to call it, and there's nobody in there, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? In this film, that there we've seen the bodies of they put the body of Waggle and the body of the sheriff in there. Then we see the taps dripping. We've seen plug holes. She's actually gone in for a smoke. She drops it, obviously, and it doesn't go down, thank God. Ben McKenzie, that's the fella. Been Googling like mad. It's been great. She drops it, and I thought she was going to stick her fingers in the hole, but she doesn't. We just hear a noises from the depths. And she hears a noise behind her, so she goes to check the stall. There you go. There's nothing in there. But then when she turns round, see that yeah, there we go. He's behind her, and his eyes were black. He had black eyes, and then sort of like turned to normal. And then he's back from the dead, so to speak. So she goes running out, and Ben Affleck goes running in. Obviously, there's nobody there, and he says there's nobody there. It was him. It was Waggle. So they go and check, and both bodies have disappeared. Don't know where they've gone to. I almost said Joshua Jackson, but that's the guy from Fringe. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but no, Ben McKenzie. Yeah. Anyway, they've disappeared. Where have they gone? Don't know. They've gone down the plug hole. That's kind of the implication. Oh, pardon me. Let me have a drinky. Hey, right. So, more shenanigans for them to sort out. And then they hear a helicopter, so they go running out. And must be cold there. And the helicopter flies over. It doesn't land. Obviously, he says it's doing reconnaissance. So he sends. Hang on, let's might be after this. Then we cut to a private jet, and they're taking Timothy Flight to Snowfield. And it's a snowflake then. Snowfield. Snowflake is the town in Fire in the Sky, isn't it? Snowflake, Arizona. But anyway, that's another film. So he's complaining, he's saying that he's a legal resident of the United States, and I have the right to consult an attorney and all that. And if you're not going to charge me, this could be construed as kidnapping. I like Peter O'Toole. It was great in Mossad. Cool series. I loved that. Anyway, so Robert Nepper asks him, "Do you really know where Elvis is? Because we've been looking for him." Then the other one does an Elvis impression. Well, I'm gonna do it. There we go. So he looks at them incredulously. Right. So Bryce puts the two sisters in the car and says, "You go. I'll stay here for when the army arrives or whatever." But the car won't start, so he pops the hood, and the engine's destroyed. Don't know how. Just is. He says it looks like it's been put through a metal compactor. I don't know. It looks like it's just had all the top of it ripped off, doesn't it? But whatever, it's not working. And then we hear the woman screaming again, "For God's sake, help me!" And they said, "No, that's what happened with Channing. It's trying to lure us to our deaths." So they go back inside. Anyway, they're driving. They obviously landed the plane at an airport somewhere, and now they're driving Peter O'Toole to Snowfield. And this is where he does a bit of exposition now, and he talks about disappearances throughout history. An army, 3,000 Chinese disappeared in 1939. No traces of them, and other things I can't remember. And then talks about Roanoke as well. He goes, interested in the ancient enemy. He tells them about mysterious disappearances without trace. No bodies, no graves, no witnesses. There we go. The Mayan cities of Copan, Piedras Negras, Palenque disappeared. Hundreds of thousands of Mayans missing, and they'd made meals and not eaten them. Just disappeared. And he talks about Roanoke as well. Doesn't mention Croatoan though. But anyway, though, they arrive and at the staging area, so they've got soldiers and scientists, a big, massive lab that's armored, but doesn't have its own power supply for some weird reason. We'll get to that. Anyway, so he's been drafted into service as Timothy Flight. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck smashing in the hockey machine with his nightstick and taking, rubbishy American chocolates out. Look at that. Milk duds, and I don't know. Get a Mars bar in there and some Cadbury's Dairy Milk. That's proper chocolate, not this bloody Hershey nonsense. Anyway, so he says, we're all right for dinner. Obviously, they're all worried. Oh, she thinks they're all going to die. And he says, no, we're not going to die. We've just got to keep our heads and we'll get out of here alive. So there we go. Then they arrive with their big sci-fi lab. As I said, that doesn't have its own power supply. Wingray says he's sticking up for Americans. We have Mars bars. They're just called something else here. Dear. I'm only joshing. Josh. I'm only joking. I did have a Hershey bar once. You can get Hershey bars over here. Didn't like them. The chocolate left a bitter aftertaste in my mouth. I much prefer, our chocolate over here is a bit. I think it's a bit sweeter than yours. But anyway. All right. So anyway, the soldiers have arrived, and this is the scientific team. So they're saved. He tells them that deputies Waggle and Shannon are dead. They're talking about the Timothy Flight that was scrawled on the mirror and that, and he goes, "Oh, that's you, isn't it? Oh, the name on the mirror." Right, so he needs to know what they're dealing with, and he says, "Is it what's he say? Biological, bacterial, or other?" No, is it biological, chemical, or other? And he says, "I'm leaning towards other." There we go. And this is the rest of the science team and the soldiers. Here we go. First you disparage Jello, now Hershey. The line must be drawn here. No further. Haha. Hey. I've never had Jello. I don't know. Like I said, I've just had one Hershey bar in my life and I didn't like it. Maybe it was just that. I think it was just like a regular Hershey bar. I don't think it was anything special, but I didn't like it. Sorry. I don't like Oreos either. Not a big fan of Oreos, but anyway. Give me some bourbon biscuits and custard creams. That's what we have here. And McVitie's chocolate digestives. Anyway, so enough of that. So the science team and the soldiers are going through the town, and they're finding that there's, dinners are set and all that, and that the townspeople have vanished. Don't know what's happened to them. They're checking on Hilda. They were going to find some that under a fingernail. It's like oily stuff. That's a clue for later. Here they are in the the armored lab. Right, so the soldiers now, this is where we find that the lab doesn't have its own power supply, even though everything were on there, but there's like a power junction box down in the sewers, which is where they're going to go. This is the bit that reminds me of, I think it's Resident Evil 2, where you see the soldiers with the gas masks on being got by William Birkin. No, this kind of reminds me of that. Here they are checking out, other ones checking out a church. With Timothy Flight, and then I think we'll see the priest there, dead, and there's another pile of trinkets. There we go, jewels and stuff. And this is where Timothy Flight says, you know, they are non-digested material. He said it's saving the priest, you know, for later. Right, back in the sewers, they're setting up the power for the lab, all the stuff. Is this where they find something else? Oh no, this is another bit. I forgot about this bit. Where something comes out of one of the plug holes. They hear a noise from that, and I was surprised actually to see it have a you know, a little, like a thing there. It's usually just a hole in it in these films. You know, they can stick their hands in, because he just stick his fingers in, I think. And it's usually just a hole. You think something's going to get you, but they've actually put like a guard there, surprisingly. But he thinks there's nothing there, but then there is, and it something comes squirting out. There we go. And he says, "Oh, it's just muck from the sewer." I don't know if that is, you know, from the creature, or if it's, you know, something else. But then we keep hearing noises. More soldiers and scientists checking out the rest of the. Oh, there we go. The rest of the town. See this fella dead. He's got lots of creepy drawings and stuff in his room. There we go. And macabre artifacts and stuff. And then there he is. They turn around and he's gone from the bed and he's there next to him. A jump scare. I presume he gets those soldiers now. We presume. I don't know, but we don't see. Right. So these are down in the sewers. Then we hear a commotion. It says, "What are you doing down there?" This is the bit that's like Resident Evil 2. We hear gunfire going on. But, he's going to get got. Hear him scream. And he gets pulled back down, dragged away into the sewers. Don't know what happens then. We see something that's going to come up into it. Pressing the wrong button. Pressing the wrong key. Right, back in the church. I think a dog comes now. The dog arrives. There it is, a golden retriever or something. It just arrives, and this is a bit that's a bit like The Thing. This fella in the white suit, he goes start saying, "He's a good boy," and all that, and Timothy Flight saying, "I don't think you should be touching it." Because it starts, you know, going all funky, a bit like The Thing. So something's gonna emerge from it, and it does. As we'll see. There we go. There we go. It's all stuff's happening with this dog. Ready. It's gonna get him. There we go. Something black and disgusting emerges from the dog, and then it starts getting them, and there's bits flying out all over the place to get all these soldiers and scientists. But it doesn't get Timothy Flight. We learn why. But it gets all the others. And we learn that oh, there it is. Look. And then we learn that you know, it can possess people, as we saw with the Waggle and that fella in the other room. But he's shooting and not doing any good. And standing there, and then he speaks. See, all the others get up as well. Just there we go. Is it going to do it now? Open your mouth. No, it's not that bit yet. There we go. Just opens his mouth, and then the voice of the, you know, the beast comes out, saying, "You are our witness. You will write the gospel and stuff like that. It says stuff like that. But this reminded me actually of Doctor Who and the Cybermen. I think in the early days of the Cybermen, before they became, the Cybermen, the proper robots that we see now, all metal and stuff. In the early days, during the Patrick Troughton era, they basically just had like a what do you call it? Like a balaclava over the heads, with like metal bits on. But instead of talking, they just opened the mouths and the voices came out, and it was really creepy. And that's what happens here. That's what happens here. There we go. You were brought here, Dr. Flight. Do your research. All that stuff. Right. So, this is the. I don't know what rank he is. Is he a colonel or a general or what? No, it's a general. General Copperfield, played by Clifton Powell. Wingray says, I prefer the Cyber Woman from Torchwood. Oh, bye. I can't remember. I've seen it. I've seen all Torchwood, but I can't remember. Anyway, right. So, I think, he comes running up. There's Peter O'Toole saying, it's here. It's here. That's how he says it. It's everywhere. But there we go. All around us. And ooze comes up, there we go, from the ground as the black goo, and it gets General Copperfield. Holy Jesus, she says. And it gets him, a bit like the Blob. So he becomes possessed then. But we learn it can not only possess people, it can actually create things as well. It can mimic and imitate, a bit like the Thing, like the dog, I presume. And we see it do a lizard in a minute. So it can create forms for itself as well. Also, obviously Waggle. Yes, the black oil from X-Files is, yes, I didn't make that connection, but yes, it's reminiscent to that, particularly when we saw earlier on, we didn't see it, but in the film, you see Waggle with black eyes that sort of like, it clears up suddenly. That was a bit like, the black oil from X-Files, yes. Good catch. Good catch. Anyway, this is where this say, this is a nice little good. Obviously, it's a fake head, but it looks quite realistic. He's pulling a big piece of the plastic cover out of his mouth. But it's a good prosthetic head. Quite realistic. Anyway, so there you go, and then he vomits up this stuff onto there, and it changes into a lizard. There we go. Bit of morphing. So there we go. It tells him to take it and use this piece of me, to do his research, because he's the witness. Is it going to show us? But do not try to leave. So it's got to. The wants flight, the creature, whatever it is, wants flight to do his research and then tell the world all about it, because he's the witness, because it thinks it's like, the devil or whatever. It thinks it's a supernatural form, which it kind of is, from what it can do. So that's what he's going to do. And that it turns back into the goo again. I don't know why. Probably just so it doesn't show you him cutting up a lizard. And there's the dog back, watching them. Oh, they've got a task to do. So he's got to research, the monster. And they're saying, why is it letting you research it? Why, you could find its weakness and that. And it says, well, it thinks it's the devil. So, it thinks it's invulnerable. It doesn't care what I find out. It thinks it's immortal and we can't harm it. And then they talk about how it learns from things it digests. It learns things. That's why it knows everything. It knows everybody's thoughts and stuff. And then they talk about flatworms. If you grind them up and then feed them Make flatworms go around this maze, and then if you grind them up and then feed them to other flatworms, they'll know the way around the maze instantly. Which I don't think that's true, to be honest, but for the purposes of this film, it is. There you go. So that's his, equating that to how this creature that lives deep underground for millions of years, that's equating, that's how it learns its stuff. But then it finds out it's kind of like it's made of oil, or it's like hydrocarbon based, and don't know if that's it or if it's just that's the medium it exists in. I don't know, but that is its weakness. And there you go. It's lies dormant between feeding for years or decades, thousands of years, probably, up to feed. Hence the disappearances that was spoken of earlier. And then it can, like the thing, can assume the shape or form of anything gets absorbed. Anyway. Right, so more science. Oh, look, Jesus loves me. This I know. So it's in the machine. They can talk to it through the machine, obviously, for ease, ease of communication. That's it. It's not supposed to make a huge amount of sense. Oh, here we go. I think they've got it on the speaker as well. It can speak now as well, not just reading it. One of your species has theorized my existence. I was on about Timothy Flight. So he's going to be the witness. Let's talk about AI. So he is my Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He's the witness. He's going to spread the gospel. There you go, vocal mode. He's got to spread the gospel across the world. It thinks it's God, the devil, whatever. It thinks it's all powerful. It thinks it's Q. So they've got to find a way. There we go. He says any living thing can be killed. He's thinking it's just an animal, and any animal, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Not that we've seen it bleed. There we go. But it thinks it's Satan, so he's thinking its weakness is its ego. Satan took on God, didn't it? Yes. Goo is in his holy temple. Oh, Win Grace and his puns. Yes. His holy temple. There you go. It manipulated them into bringing Dr. Flight there because it wanted him because he had sussed out its existence. No, it doesn't have Q's sense of humour, though. No, it doesn't. I mean, who does? Apart from the other Q's. If there were a way, we wouldn't have been given the tissue sample. And it says, you've got to find out. So it is looking at some cool computer 1998 graphics about all the things it's been. There were even some dinosaurs in there as well. He says later on, I might have said it then. This is the thing that made the dinosaurs extinct. We don't know that. And yeah, they're the dogs watching. Oh, they've got to find a way, right? It realizes, that they're not making progress, so it shakes them about a bit. And Ben gets his neck cut for some reason. I don't know if that's supposed to have any significance, but then the rest of the film we see him with a plaster, a band-aid on. When they talk about, how could they kill it? Nukes, some sort of chemical agent or something. And he says, how would you deliver it? And how would you know you got it all if it lives deep underground? It's not really, it's not like a non-corporeal form, but it might as well be because it's like living in goo and oil and stuff in it. This is where he gets his neck cut. I don't know if it's just because he falls or it gets cut on some broken glass or what, I don't know, but you can see he's on the map. Next time you see him there, she's putting a band-aid on. Don't know what the significance of that was. I don't know, but anyway. There we go. Here we go. He's found his match. But it's some bacteria. It's basically the bacteria that they put on oil slicks, to gobble up all the oil. So they're going to use that. It's harmless to humans, but it eats oil because they use it on oil slicks. So they're going to try and use this to get to destroy the creature. This is the army outside, and they've lost touch with lost contact with Snowfield, and there's all these standing about spookily. They're just cutting off the power so it can't hear them because it were listening to them through the electrics somehow. But here he's talking about it. Biosan 14, a genetically engineered bacteria, etc. There you go. They use it to break up oil spills, and it reproduces itself every 11 seconds, so they can make lots more of it. They can culture it because it's reproducing all really quickly. So they make up several batches of it, lots and lots of this stuff. Destroy this oily monster. They need to get it all in one place to do it. So they need. By the way, it started snowing. Have you noticed? It started snowing. See some shots of the town and the newspaper. He's got to go over to some other place. Well, the two of these, I don't know. There was the lab, and then there's this other one that he's got to get some guns and stuff from. So maybe this is an armory. I only noticed one truck pull up, but never mind. He goes over to this one. The dog's watching him. To go inside. Knows the code to get in. Don't know how, but he just does. He gets in. I think he's getting like guns and stuff, or like what they call them, tranquilizer guns. I think something like that. The dog's watching, but he doesn't stop him. And when he's inside, there's General Copperfield. Is it Copperfield? Yes, Copperfield. Yeah. So it did sound right when I said it. Who's appeared behind him, just watching him. They don't stop him because obviously think he's no threat. The the demonic noises coming out of his mouth. But it doesn't stop him. So he goes in here, gets the guns out. America. And he's gone now, look. But, hang on. The gun show us. It's like an armory, isn't it? The gun show us what he gets. Oh, yeah, showed us. I think they're like tranquilizer guns or something like that. Something along those lines. So he's got them, so he's taking them back over to the lab. You go, oh, the dog's doing funky things with its eyes. And he just like basically shoves it to one side with his leg. Knows the code for that as well. Goes back in the lab. Right, so now they've got the plan, and he says, "Now, how do you propose to draw the beast out into the open?" And they just look at him, and then he goes, "No, no, oh no!" Because he's hamming it up like mad because it's Peter O'Toole and his ace. There you go. There you go. No, no, oh no. So they're going to use him as bait. So they send him out into the snow. He calls on the creature. I don't think we ever give it a name in this. He just calls on it anyway. By the way, phantoms refers to all the things it creates. They call them drones and stuff. But I think in one line he does call them phantoms. These other the other things it creates. The dog and the people, like it possesses. My O'Toole is excellent, is it? Oh dear. I still want to hear him say Hull Wheaton. Anyway, so he calls it out. There we go. But he wants to see, it itself, not just a drone. By the way, it, another reference for this film is it, because it's down in the sewers. So we're waiting now. Oh, and he's telling it. He's saying they think you can. They think they can kill you They think he's just an animal. They've got a bacteria and all that, and they can hear him inside the lab. And Ben Affleck saying, "The son of a bitch is, he's giving us in and all that." But obviously not. He's just playing to its ego. Say gods have nothing to fear, or do they? I always thought my town was silly for not having sewers. Now I think they were smart. Yeah. I don't think mine has sewers. Not like big sewers, that you can walk around in. I don't think it has anyway. I say we've got sewage pipes that lead to the sewage plant. I think just the big old cities had, huge sewer systems that you could walk around in. Anyway, so he's calling it out, but then all the townspeople appear. There they are, look, and the soldiers and the scientists. Basically, everything. The dog will be in there somewhere as well. And it says, and then they all start coalescing into the big tamale, or whatever you want to call it. There we go. They all start going, ooh, and going up in the whirlwind. We all have individually contained septic tanks in the backyard. Oh, is that where you go? Oh, well, we haven't. We haven't. And you have, I forgot to call them now, from Tremors, Earl and, what's his other one now? Val. You have Val and Earl come out to empty your septic tank every so often. Oh, dear. That's another one that we should do on Mondays. Or, at a pinch, Friday night appointment with fear. But it's not really scary, is it, Tremors? Maybe we'll do it as a Magnificent Monday one day. Monday, one day. Right. Anyway, so this is, there we go. So they're all coalescing and going up into the one. And there we go. We learn that, hang on, I've got too far. Go back a bit. See it, I go, now, anytime. Now would be a good time. Go on, do it then. Just skip it. It won't show it. It'll go past it. Show us then. Come on, show us. Never mind showing them. Show us the monster, for Christ's sake. But do this. Look, see, it goes bloody too far. Look. Go back so you can see it. Oh, I'll just press the bloody play button. Play. There we go. Now they're shooting at it with that, whatever they got. Shooting the virus into the mass of the creature. And obviously injured it. It retreats. They've infected it. So they've got to wait now, basically, for the microbes to, start eating away at this creature. There we go. Seeing it there, look. And but it's not the end of it yet. It's not going to go down without a fight. Then he shoots it again. So they scatter. They run inside. I think they encounter Waggle. Liev Schreiber, they encounter him. But Bryce is going down that ladder for some reason. He's going to have an encounter with the kid from the closet. That's what he's going to have an encounter with. But first, they've got to deal with Liev Schreiber. Here we go. There we go. He says, "You wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you?" Obviously, they do. And so they start shooting. Here we go. And they're shooting and shooting. And you want to see something. They're shooting and shooting. And they shoot his legs and he goes down on the floor. But then they carry on shooting, above him. Should be shooting down, shouldn't they? But never mind. And so you want to see something, it all goes all Lovecrafty and tentacly, as you'll see. Here we go. Because all his tentacles start coming out. It turns into a Lovecraftian beast that starts chasing them down the corridor. Uses the gun to shoot a hole in the roof. You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? No, that's a Batman Joker reference, I know. Jack Nicholson. Anyway, they climb up through the roof, through the hole that she's made with the shotgun, and going after them. Then there's Ben in the sewers. He's going to encounter his kid in a minute. They're up in this, looks like an attic space or something, doesn't it? But Liev Schreiber appears and she shoots him in the head. He's been infected, by the way, so he's going all manky. He says, "What have you done to me?" You see him, he's going all peculiar. And she shoots him, but that's not the end of him. There you go. She blows his head off. But then he becomes the Thing. Minute. We're cutting back now. We're cutting backwards and forwards. There we go. Bryce encounters his closet kid that he killed, many moons ago, and he's got some vials. As we see, he's got some vials of the microbe that he's dropped. I think it knocked him about a bit. The tentacles came out and stuff. It knocked him about a bit. He dropped his vials, and it picks them up. It's going to show us. Hang on. There we go. Oh, there we go. Picks those up and holding them in his hand, and he's pointing his gun at the kid. He says, "Oh, you wouldn't, you're gonna shoot me again or whatever." He says, "No, I'm gonna miss," and he shoots the vials in his hand. As we'll see. Always that urge to shoot little boys. He says, "No, I'm gonna miss," and he shoots his hand, and it's all gone into his hand. We get a little that bullet hole in his hand. Stigmata, but pardon me. It's also gone on his face. Trying to not miss bits. But then he starts spazzing out here, as they say in evolution. It's spazzing out. There we go. Freaks out a bit here. There you go. Weird stuff's going on. And then, I don't know, he blows up or explodes, or disappears, whatever. He's defeated. Yeah, that's it. They were a bit earlier on with obviously it's skipped past it, but they're a bit earlier on where Liev Schreiber's, when she blew his head off, like another thing came out, a bit like the Thing, all fleshy and stuff, and they just shot that with the microbe things, and that got rid of that. And we're seeing everything's returned, everything's going quiet in the town now. Everything's returned to normal because they've defeated it. And that's it. And he says, "Still it won," as Peter O'Toole. "Still it won." Because he's gonna, it wanted him to tell the world about it, and that's exactly what he's going to do, he says. And then we cut to a voiceover from Peter O'Toole. The Earth endures. There we go. And telling them that they bested a inhuman intelligence, but is it still around there? And then we cut to, this is like the end scene in The Howling, where they're watching it on TV in a bar, and this fella says, "What a load of crap," because he's on about this supremely powerful life force that is seemingly immortal. Did they really kill it, or did they just defeat it? And he says, "What a load of crap." And there you go. And he says to this young lady here, who looks really familiar. I don't know what I've seen her in. I'm going to have to check now. I'm going to have to check. Because she does. I've seen her in something. I can't think what. Cast and crew. Is it going to say? I'm going to have to go to all cast and crew because it's not in the top cast. Top cast. Cowgirl, Yvette Nipper. What have I seen her in then? Because she looks really familiar. I've seen her in something. What's she been in? Oh, she's been in the RoboCop TV series. That might be what I've seen her in. Detective Lisa Madigan. Actually, that's it. Oh, no, there's more here. Sorry. There's more here. Phantoms. Loads of stuff, but I'm trying to find something that I might have seen. I did watch the RoboCop TV series or the TV movies that they did, so that might be what I've seen it in. So we're in the 90s version of The Flash. Freddy's Nightmares. I'm probably seen it in the RoboCop TV series. Right. So anyway, she's saying, stranger things have happened on Netflix. But she says, somebody is it going to say? No, it's not. Says, there we go. Patty said Glenn was abducted by aliens, and he says, "No, Glenn went to LA, and you would too if you were married to Patty." And then we hear this giggling, and she turns around and says, "There's something funny, officer." And then we see it's Waggles there, and he says, "No, nothing's funny. Do you want to see something?" And then it ends. And they should have had his eyes go a bit funky, shouldn't they? You know, just to show that he were the creature. But there we go. That's the end. That's the end of Phantoms. It's a decent flick. I don't mind it. I forgot what button to press. That one. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's a good, a decent monster movie. Like I say, it's a bit. It does, homage, rip off, whatever. A lot of things. It's not exactly original, is it? But I think it also influenced some things as well, because some things that I've said, that it had shades of this came after it. So it, and it's from a book from the 80s, but I don't know if it was similar to the book. Joshua probably know because I think he's read the book, hasn't he, Joshua? So I don't know if it's close to the book. I don't know, but it's a decent film. That's it. Could it be classed as a guilty pleasure? I don't know, but I like it. I like it. It's along like if it's a guilty pleasure, then I've got another guilty pleasure that I might do one day. That Virus film with Jamie Lee Curtis. I like that film. A lot of people say that's a load of rubbish. Is that? But I like that film, Virus. That's one of my guilty pleasures, and I might do that one day, but I don't know when. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. That's the end of Phantoms. Right, so thanks, Grace, and thanks, Joshua, for joining in. Hang on, Joshua's saying close to the book than most film adaptations. Oh, right, very good. Very good, very good. So all I know is on, I think, is it on Wikipedia or is it on, I saw it somewhere. Oh, there we go. While Koontz's novel included many literary tips of the hat to the work of H.P. Lovecraft, these are largely excised from the film. Like I say, we're kind of Lovecraftian in, the creature when it came up, it was kind of tentacly, wasn't it? And when Waggle had all his tentacles coming out, that were a bit kind of Lovecraftian. And also the notion that there's ancient gods, quote gods, living deep beneath the earth and super powerful and stuff. But anyway, that's by the by. Right, I'm going to go now. So hang on, let me get myself sorted. So yes, so where were we? So thanks, Grace, and thanks, Joshua, and thanks Archmage Frey, the mysterious Archmage Frey, and also we had somebody else, didn't we, pop in on Twitch, and I forgot who it was. Anna Yaldis. Thanks for joining in. I'll just make sure that's all the messages elsewhere. No, nobody on Rumble has said anything, and nobody else on Twitch has either. I'm gonna have to look up Anna Yaldis on Twitter. Hey, I follow you on Twitter. Hope you'll follow back. It could be. I could regret that. Anyway, right, I'm going now. So thanks for watching. Hang on, let me get sorted. Thanks for watching, wherever you are. Hang on, I've got to get rid of that, didn't I? Oh, crikey. Thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. And until next time, by the way, before I go, next up is, my my Sunday news live stream on Sunday night for me, Sunday night for me, 9 p.m. UK time. Magnificent Mondays next week. Number 3 is going to be Highlander. There can be only one and all that and stuff. So we're doing that next Monday. So until then, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see you.